They're not open tomorrow.
Oh, they're not open tomorrow?
No, they're only the Thursday.
Okay, I just put in, she said just put in a Dropbox.
Okay.
I just want to make sure. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Good evening and welcome to the Thursday, October 17th, 2024 Scarborough Board of Education Business Meeting. Ray, can we call the attendance, please?
Ms. Lindstrom,
Here.
Ms. Tarpinian,
Here.
Mr. Kelleher,
Here.
Ms. Leon,
Here.
Ms. Peterson,
Here.
Here.
Ms. Tarpinian Huff,
Here.
Ms. Ledger, Ms. Ross Kahana.
She's been excused. All right, thank you so much. Would everyone please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you so much. Agenda item 4.0 is approval of the October 3rd, 2024 business meeting minutes without objection. I would like to approve those minutes.
I did have one thing I want.
Sure.
I'm sorry, it's taking me a second to pull it up, but it looks like in the lead teachers and clubs, it's listed as having a vote of 5-1, but that it passed unanimously. I believe it should be 5-0. It's at the very end. I didn't know if the absence of, we were down a board member that day, but no other vote is listed as 5-1. It's listed as 5-0.
I didn't even see that. That's a good catch.
That was a good catch. I didn't see it either.
All right, yeah, so that should be a, so on the 12.2.1, the lead teachers and clubs should be a vote of 5-0. Unanimously approved. Thank you for catching that. Oh, and now I'm seeing one more thing. And 12.3.1, the donation is M people. Just an extra L is in there. And the title, M People Credit Union. All right. So with those two adjustments, and there's no other objections, we will approve those minutes. All right, thank you. Agenda item 5.0 is adjustments to the agenda. Are there any adjustments this evening?
There are none.
All right. Agenda item 6.0 is the Spotlight Award recognition. So after this, I'll turn it over to Jillian.
All right, so I wanted to take a moment to, this is our first spotlight of the year, or of the school year, not of the year. And so I'll wait for it to get going. There we go. Our October Spotlight Award winner is, go ahead. It's Christy Sebastian. And she was nominated by Elise Slahotsky. I think I got that right. And so Elise and a couple of people did have a couple of things to say. I think we got, yes, we got them on video. They gracious.
Sound on,
Oh,
so nobody will hear it.
good catch. Thank you. Yeah, that would be.
It's on. It's worth waiting for.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Um. All right.
Hey, I'm Elise. I nominated Christy because Christy, you're a source of light and hope for all of us. You approach things so holistically that it gives this inspirational space for students not just to develop academic and professional skills, but to truly discover who they are as individuals. You've nourished all of our students, you know, outside of even your normal day-to-day work. You really go above and beyond to connect with anybody who needs connection. You also go to foster connection between staff and students that you can see working. So thank you so much for what you do. Hey,
All right, and so we have.
There's one more act. She's not-
Yeah, it got out of line, but, I'll read, well,
I'll read these ones out loud. We had a number of people also write in and say something really nice about Christy. So Sarah Blaisdell, the assistant principal, said, Christy goes above and beyond when it comes to supporting students at Scarborough High School. She's willing to help with things outside of her job and is an amazing problem solver. Social worker Amy Ranko said her willingness to jump in and help SHS staff manage communication with family new to the country has been invaluable. Christy has put forth a great effort in helping these students and their families feel welcome into our school and community. She quickly formed a supportive relationship with the students and has provided interpreting services to both students and family. Her willingness to lend support positively impacted the student transition into in a new country, a new community, and a new school. Ryan Susi, who's a school counselor, said, Christy has been great to work with. She is responsive, organized, and collaborative. She's a great advocate for students and a firm believer in providing a learning experiences for students outside of the traditional classroom. Wendy Spalding said, who is the Student Services Department head, said, working with Christy has been a true pleasure. Christy is committed to our students, guiding them to their career path and providing valuable resources and support along the way. This award is a testament to the positive difference she makes in our school and community. She is truly dedicated and passionate, passionate professional who helps students explore their goals and has made a significant positive impact. And Allison Lane, who's a school counselor, said, Christy is in every way a genuine student-centered educator. She works tirelessly to support students' academic and career goals, utilizing outside-the-box thinking. Christy's generosity and warmth are felt by all those who work with her. She is an immeasurable asset to the Scarborough High School community.
so generous. I just have to say thank you very, very, very much. I work with an extraordinary staff and am honored to work here in Scarborough for an incredible district. We are doing great work all together, and every one of us has a light within, and we just have to just shine it.
That's so lovely.
Thank you.
And
My name is Allison Verway, and I just wanted to come on here quickly and say congratulations to Ms. Vasnick for earning a Teacher Spotlight Award. Over these past couple years, I've worked with her closely through my ELO and my engineering club. She has helped me in so many different ways that I can proudly say that I would not be where I am today without her. Throughout everything, she has been so caring, passionate, and attentive by helping me and other students find what they're passionate in and guide them towards their next steps after high school. She has given me so many opportunities that when I leave high school, I will feel ready to go to my career. And for that, I cannot recommend a better person to earn this reward. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the years of hard work and effort you have put into me and other students.
These are always a little bit of a tearjerker. No matter how many times I read through them and watch the videos, I can't help myself. But if you want to just come up here, we'll present you with a little award. Oh, we can't get away with that picture. All right, come on up. Well deserved. All right. Thank you. Sorry.
Congratulations.
All right, Chris.
All right.
My name is Allison Verway.
Before Chris, hold on one second. Agenda item 7.0 is general public comment. Is there anybody online?
No.
No, okay. So we're going to, seeing none, we'll close public comment. Agenda item 8.0 is new business. 8.1 is our special services presentation. Chris, come on up.
Well, first of all, thanks for giving me the opportunity to come in and talk to you about a couple of the great things that we're doing in our special services department. And yeah, I just thought this was kind of a cool opportunity to come in and talk about some of the fun work that we're doing, some of the new stuff we're doing this year, and a couple of things that we've been doing for a while that you may not have heard about before. So I'll just jump right in. And one thing that we spoke about quite a bit last year, especially during budget season, was the kind of increased needs we have, particularly at the K2 level, around sort of emotional regulation, students coming in with a lot of behavioral needs, and how we could meet the needs of those kids. And so we're really excited this year. We're doing a initiative at the K2 level with our two social life skills programs, one program at Blue Point and one at Eight Corners. And we have contracted with Dr. Rebecca Bickford to provide some professional development for our two teams at the two buildings. We've worked with Dr. Bickford on some individual cases in the past. She's outstanding. She's I wrote this down so I would get everything right, but she's a doctoral level board certified behavior analyst, as well as a doctoral level school psychologist. So Dr. Bickford's worked with a lot of local schools. She used to be a director at Margaret Murphy. She really knows student needs kind of inside and out. And so what Dr. Bickford has done with us this year is to put together a series of monthly trainings for our staff in those two SLS programs. And we're doing those trainings on our early release days. So we have our special ed teachers joining, we have our related service providers joining, and in some ways, I think the best part of this model is our ed techs get to join in this training as well. So this is a fantastic opportunity for them. So Dr. Bickford has put together a series of 10 presentations that'll go through the school year. And the first couple of presentations were a focus on some background around working with kids who have adverse childhood experiences and developmental trauma. And one thing I think that we're all learning a little bit more about as we go along here is how many kids have had those adverse childhood experiences, how many kids have experienced trauma. And I think in the past, maybe we thought about that as sort of extreme things that only happen to a very small number of kids. And the truth of the matter is that there are a lot of kids that are impacted by those things, and they have very specific implications for how we can successfully work with them when we get them here in school. So the first part of the training is just some background information about what that means, and then the following the last 8 modules are really all about what do we do when we get the kids here. And so some of the things they'll be talking about are using coaching techniques to use with students, strategies to provide positive reinforcement, thoughts on maximizing routines and structures during the school day, instructional strategies, and then training on functional communication, which is basically an evidence-based practice to teach kids to use language instead of behavior to meet their needs. And it's a highly structured program. It takes a lot of training to do this well. And we're really fortunate to have Dr. Bickford working with us on that. So, obviously, a great benefit for the kids we're working with, for our staff to get this training. Also, I think, as we think a lot about trying to recruit people to work here in special education and keep people working here, I think this is the type of training that will help people feel motivated to stay here and feel like they can be successful in their jobs, right? We get a lot of people coming in who are new to education, don't have a lot of training outside of here. And, a lot of our jobs are pretty hard jobs. And so I think this is a great tool for us in terms of just that staff morale and retention piece. And then two other, great benefits of this model are some consistency in programming between our two SLS programs, since we're not under the same roof and we're in two different buildings, two different groups of staff. And particularly important as we think about kids moving to Wentworth, if they still require this level of support, super helpful for us to have had them had like a common curriculum, common language, common approaches as they move up to Wentworth. So yeah, so we're just super lucky to have Dr. Bickford working with us this year, and I'm really excited about the work we're doing there. So another newish initiative that we actually started this last year, and we talked about this a little bit as part of the budget process last year, is the work of our in-house assistive tech and augmentative communication expert, Cheryl Milliken. So as you might recall, last year, we brought her fully on board full-time to do that work with us. And that work has been amazing, like really life-changing for kids for sure. So we, as you know, had a lot of kids come into kindergarten this year that needed to access a functional life skills program. And a lot of those students have pretty significant communication deficits. Certainly not all of them, but most of them are working with some type of augmentative communication device. And these devices are getting better and better, which is really exciting for kids and families. They're also getting more complex and harder to program, harder to set up. So it takes a pretty significant amount of expertise and time to do this work well. And we are super lucky to have Cheryl Milliken working with us. She's really fantastic at this work. So part of what Cheryl will do for the AAC piece is an initial evaluation. Right now, she has 10 pending for the year. That's quite a few. It's a very extensive process of assessing where students are at right now with their communication needs, looking at different types of devices that might be appropriate, trialing those devices, and then writing a comprehensive evaluation. The benefit of that as well is that families can take that evaluation and get a device purchased through MaineCare. And that's actually a benefit for us as well, because typically the families will, bring that device into school with their kids. So it's really a win-win for us and the families. So, so that's been fantastic work. Cheryl's also doing a lot of work on assistive technology. So thinking about harnessing technology to help provide accommodations for kids with IEPs that might be in general education settings. As you can imagine, this is a rapidly evolving world. Like every time you turn around, there's a cool new tool out there. And so it's just been really fantastic to have Cheryl in this role, to have the ability to research this, do some training with staff when she finds a tool that works well. And this is going to be, for me, I think, just a huge difference maker in our ability to have more kids included in more general education classes, right? Because one of the big challenges in doing that is differentiating instruction so that it's accessible for everybody. And that takes time to do that well. And there are just more and more tools out there right now that can really help teachers get that work done quickly and in a way that works really well for kids. So Cheryl's been doing a lot of work on that. And then she's also been working with one of our OTs, Sybil Kipp, who also has a background in assistive technology, to do like a training series for staff around what resources do we have in Scarborough now that maybe we're not utilizing to the full extent. And also, what are some other resources kind of out and about in the world? So yeah, so that's another awesome initiative. And then the last new one is we have 2 new transition initiatives at the high school. So when students enter high school, if they have an IEP, there's a new part of their IEP that comes on board called the transition plan. And that is our roadmap for helping kids get to where they want to be after graduation. Could be post-secondary education, could be work, could be a combination of the two. And so we have partnered this year with Vocational Rehab, which is a state service that provides vocational support for students and adults, and also Goodwill Industries. And they have brought on board a high school class that we have two groups of kids taking this year. And one group is a group of students from our academic life skills program, and then another group of kids from our social life skills program. So there's a fall and a spring component for this program. The fall program is going to focus on soft skills, applications, resumes, and the spring semester will focus more on work readiness, summer job opportunities, experience. And the hope would be that some of these students would be able to go on next summer and do a supported work program through Voc Rehab with some of this as a background. So there's a really nice connection between those two things. We're also piloting a new curriculum at the high school called Next Up, a transition curriculum. And we're using this in our social life skills program. And this is a series of 12 lessons that focus on some of the same themes that the other program is doing. So some of the lessons coming up this fall will be identifying personal strengths and weaknesses, developing self-advocacy skills for the workplace, creating a job placement toolbox, understanding the job application process. There's also a transition assessment component to this curriculum that we're looking forward to piloting this year as well. And just want to acknowledge the work of Jack Aceto, who's our high school transition specialist, because he's really spearheaded the work on these two things. So, we think about that a lot for kids in high school, what's coming next. And these are two great tools we're really excited to get started with this year. Okay, and then for something we've been doing for a long time, but some people may not know about, is our therapeutic swim program. So for kids in our functional life skills programs in grades 3 through 12, they are all eligible to participate in a weekly therapeutic swim experience. So this year we have 9 students overall that are participating, and we swim in a pool in South Portland. And so along with the students, we have a team of special education teachers, ed techs, related service providers, OT, PT, our BCBAs will go over to help too. And it's really an awesome program. So some of the benefits for kids of that are some sensory integration opportunities. Water provides like a therapeutic sensory experience for kids that we can't really replicate just sort of in a regular classroom environment. Obviously, lots of opportunity for motor skills development, right? And these are skill areas that a lot of our kids have gaps in. Social interaction, right? Awesome for that. And communication, right? A big part of what we're working on with a lot of students in those programs. And then anxiety reduction. So water can be really calming for a lot of the kids that we're working with, and they just really enjoy, a lot of them really enjoy being in there and have fun. So, but another part of this that a lot of people aren't aware of is that there is a big safety component to this as well. So, I have some facts and figures here. I'm not sure how current they are, but just know that, so drowning is like one of the major leading causes of death for students with or kids with autism. And, some of the reasons for that are just a lack of safety awareness, a lack of skills of what to do if they do end up in the water, elopement, right? A lot of the students we work with have needs around elopement. So it's really, important work, I think, on that level too, just from a safety perspective for our kids. So it's also a great opportunity to work on some activities of daily living like self-care, showering, getting dressed. So this is just a fantastic program, and just a big tip of the hat again to our staff who go out and work with kids and get in the pool with them and help them shower and get changed, right? A lot of the things that I think people may not think about, what do teachers do, right? This is part of what our teachers do, and they do a great job with it. So, and then I'll just wrap up with a couple of other programs at the high school. So these are pretty fun. We have a program called Chippy's Cafe that the Social Life Skills program runs, and they do a a weekly breakfast, coffee and tea service for the high school staff. So we have 4 students participating in that right now, actually a couple more than that, I think. And they will go down to the Wentworth kitchens to work with Peter Esposito to make the food and the coffee, and they'll then go around and kind of distribute that to everybody at the high school once a week. So, great opportunity for teamwork building. That's a big piece of what we're working on with a lot of students in social life skills, right? It's just those social interaction skills. So great for that, great for money management skills. They've used some of the money they've raised to continue funding the program, but also to do a little field trip last year and some snacks. So there's a money management kind of life skills piece to this as well. And then for a long time in our academic life skills program at the high school, we've had something called Teens Cooking Kitchen. So that's a similar program where one of our OTs and one of our speech pathologists works with the students in that program once a week. And they're working on, not just basic kind of kitchen skills and kitchen safety as like an activity of daily living, but also working in fine motor skill pieces for OT, social interaction with speech or using your words again, right, to ask for help, self-advocacy, all those pieces. So that's just a snapshot of a couple of things. I had a whole list of other things too, but Diane told me I couldn't talk all night, so I won't rattle them all off. But I do want to just say, I'll echo a little bit of what Christy said earlier, right? I mean, I've been here a long time, and I think we are just really uniquely supported by the community in terms of our special services programs. We do a lot of programs here that I believe are central to what we need to provide for kids. I don't think these are extras or add-ons. These are critical programs, but they're not programs that kids get to access everywhere. So I really do very appreciative of the support we get from the community here and, in our staff, right? We have a lot of staff that have been here a long time, and we have a lot of fantastic new staff that have joined us this year too. So yeah, just very lucky to have all the people on board, and of course the kids and the great parents that we work with here. It's really, takes a village, right? It takes a whole team to do this work. And so I just wanted to take a minute and acknowledge that tonight too. So that's what I have.
Thank you so much, Chris. I love these. I love that we're incorporating these into our meetings. So it's a lot of things that I don't think we always think of, right? Like programming. I had no idea we were offering a swim program, for example. That's really
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've done it for years. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. That's really incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jenna, I see your hand up. Did you have a question or comment?
Yes, I wanted to first say how cool all this programming is. You say it's a snapshot, but your snapshot told us a lot of information. I thought it was really neat that I didn't know that these programs existed for within our district. And I did have a question. How many people are involved when it comes to transporting to the pool, and I'm sure there's like busing staff as well, and lots of people involved. So I just want to know how many general number are involved with just that one session to the pool.
Yeah, that's a good question, Jenna. I'm not sure. I'm going to try and count in my head. So we have 9 kids going typically, so that would be at least 9 ed techs. We have we would have our special education teachers from each of the 3 phases, right? So that's another 3. Our PT goes, a couple of our OTs usually go, sometimes a BCBA, depending on, how kids are doing and if we might have a student who needs some support around some behaviors in the pool. Certainly the bus driver. So I couldn't do the math and rattle the people off in my head as I was but it's a big group of people. Yeah. And as you can imagine, right? I mean, you can't be understaffed in that situation, right? You have to have all the people there, and it's not something maybe that everybody would be necessarily comfortable doing, but I think what's remarkable is we've never had to cancel a trip because of lack of staffing. So if people are out, someone else will always kind of jump in and help out. So it's a big production, and a lot of organization and preparation goes into making it successful for the kids. It's a lot more than just hopping on the bus and jumping in a pool, as I'm sure you know. So, yeah.
I'm just curious, kind of hearing you say that some of the kids with children with autism have this higher rate of, drowning and everything. Is there during their session like a review on the safety of, how to swim, how to approach the water, or is it more based in a therapy setting where you're using the water as more of a tool for kind of their social emotional time, or is it a nice mix of both? Or
Yeah, it's a mix of all. I brought a little chart for myself in case I got a question like that. So that's a great question. Here are some of the skills they work on. So for example, ladder entry, right? And then they'll have 3 teaching objectives for that skill. So the 3 objectives for that skill would be holding a handle, 1 step at a time, watching your feet on steps, right? And so a lot of instruction for students in those programs is instruction that we do repetitively, right? So we want to continually kind of repeat and reinforce. So those are very concrete steps, right? That we're going to walk through with them kind of one at a time. When you master one, you move on to the next. Pool side entry would be another example. Sit on edge of pool with feet in water, turn on stomach with hands on side, slide down with feet along the wall. So it's very specific in terms of the skills that they're teaching on that piece. But yeah, the other pieces like the social part and all of that are probably a little more organic, I think, to the experience. So it's a combination of the two, but it definitely is very focused on the safety piece, and people have put a lot of thought, I think, into how to teach those skills to this particular population. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
no, it answers it perfectly. And just want to say how absolutely amazing of an experience it is. You're leaving Scarborough, you're including all of the staff, you're making time for it. And I think it's just really wonderful.
Yeah. And again, just all these initiatives, these are driven by our staff, right? And it really reflects on, just how much they care about the kids that they're working with and how much they really want to do right by them. So, yeah.
It's really impressive.
All right.
It is really impressive. All right.
All right. Well, thank you again for the time to come and brag about our department a little bit.
You're welcome anytime to come brag about your department.
All right.
Thank you so much
All
for
right.
joining us this evening.
Sure thing. Thanks a lot.
All right, agenda item 8.2 is the nomination of the SBAC 2 School Building Advisory Committee, Phase 2. I can tee this up. Would you mind pulling the slide up? Alyssa, myself, Diane, counselors McGee and Seither met. I'm sorry, one more. Peter Hayes, who was the outgoing Phase 1 chair, met to seat the Phase 2 committee. What you see in front of you is, or you will see in just one second, is a list of the members that we are nominating. We are proposing to nominate for the slate of candidates for Phase 2. A couple of things to note about this list. First, Counselor McGee and Counselor Seither are on the list. As you are aware that 3 of the council seats are up for election right now in November. So once the town council is seated, obviously Counselor McGee is not rerunning, so he would not continue on the committee. So once the council has their new members seated, they will reseat their committee assignments. So those 2, at least one will for sure change, potentially a second as well. So those 2 are just Counselor McGee and Seither are placeholders right now until the committee changes. So both will be in attendance at the first meeting, which is Monday, the 21st. After that, they will change. The other thing to note, if you recall from the governance document, we carried forward 5 members that were the Phase 1 subcommittee chairs. We carried forward 4 members of the leadership team, 4 members of the Phase 1 solution subcommittee teams. When we were in our meeting to seat members, we learned that Peter Hayes is not moving forward to Phase 2. So what we did was we added an extra at-large seat So instead of 3 at-large residents, there are 4 included in here. So it allowed us, in other words, it allowed us to pull forward one of the applicants we received. We were able to bring them forward to phase 2. So this is I feel pretty confident that this is a fantastic group of people. There are varying amounts of experience, professional experience with building work. There is professional experience with architect work, finance, construction work, teaching, administrative work. There is the experience runs the gamut. We have new members that didn't participate in phase 1 that are now have come forward for phase 2. And then we have a good amount of experience from phase 1 that's carrying over as well. So this is a really great group. They have an aggressive timeline. They are meeting Monday, the 21st, and at that meeting, they will select their leadership team. They will also select their consultant selection team. That'll consist of 5 members of the committee, 1 school board member, 1 town councilor. Diane will sit on it, as will town manager Tom Hall. So they have, that group is slated to start meeting next week as well. So aggressive timeline, but this group seems is a really good group of people, I think, dedicated to the work, and those that are new are really anxious and excited to get started. All have expressed appreciation at being nominated and look forward to your approval tonight and continuing the work going forward. All right. So in that, do I have a motion to accept the nomination of the SBAC 2 committee candidates as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion? Any questions? All right. Can we call the vote, please?
Ms. Lindstrom,
Yes.
Ms. Carpinian,
Yes.
Mr. Kelleher,
Yes.
Ms. Leon,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Pini Huff,
Yes.
Ms. Ledger.
Yes. All right, the motion is unanimous. Thank you. Agenda item 8.3 is our appointments. 8.3.1 is a middle school behavioral specialist.
Yes, I am bringing forward Robert Keller McMath, who has been selected to fill this position due to a resignation. Mr. McMath earned his Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology from Western New England College and his Master of Science degree in applied behavior analysis from Northeastern. He has worked in Massachusetts as an ABA therapist, a behavioral therapist, and as a district coordinator at Danvers Public Schools. He also worked in the Western Maine region at Providence Services and at Margaret Murphy Centers for Children as a BCBA.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the middle school behavior specialist as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Was there any discussion? All right, can we call the vote, please?
Ms. Lindstrom,
Yes.
Ms. Carpinian,
Yes.
Mr. Kelleher,
Yes.
Ms. Leon,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Pini Huff,
Yes.
Ms. Ledger.
All right, that's unanimous. Thank you. Agenda item 8.4 is a donation to the middle school.
Yes, I'm pleased to bring this forward to you this evening. On October 7th, the middle school received a donation of $595 from Beauty and Polish Salon in their Cash for Class fundraiser. This donation will be used to support students at the middle school, and we are most grateful for the support and respectfully request that the school board approve acceptance of this donation on behalf of all students with many thanks. I would also just add that this particular community partner made a similar donation last year.
Oh, wonderful.
So we really appreciate that very much.
Yes, absolutely. Do I have a motion to approve the donation from Beauty and Polish Salon as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Thank you so much. All right, can we call the vote, please?
Ms. Lindstrom,
Yes.
Ms. Carpinian,
Yes.
Mr. Kelleher,
Yes.
Ms. Leon,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Tarpini Huff,
Yes.
Ms. Ledger.
All right, it is unanimous. Thank you so much. Agenda item 9.0 is adjournment with no objections. We will adjourn at 7:44 PM. All right, thank you so much. Have a good evening.